Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
My, oh my. I love being over 60. I really do. I learn something new every day. And forget 5 others. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America, followed by a patriot, a real live patriot, to call in with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning. Oh, there she is. Thank you, Kate Smith, and God bless America. Good morning, everybody, and I'm Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with all the traction tires, and, of course, some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call, get on the route service, get rid of your garbage, 734-6969. Right now, it's time for our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Are you the man?
Yes, I'd love to do the pledge on that.
Well, you are center stage. Go ahead, buddy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very well done, Wheels. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. And don't forget, right now, it's time for our weather. Brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for that blue door. I'm telling you what. If you're looking for an update on your interior of your home, try meeting with an interior designer. I know exactly who you should call. And that's, of course, Kyle and Whitney Cheney at Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Carpet, flooring, kitchen construction, home decor items, whatever you need to make your house a home. Right now, here's the weather. Let's try that again. Right now, here's the weather.
Hold on, sir.
And as we roll along.
Sir?
Pardon me?
All right, so because since Gina was cleaning out the dishes when she recorded the weather, there's the dead spots like there was in the news.
Oh.
So,
Scotty, learn the weather, please, again.
Hey, Gina, just have her jump on the microphone. This is live radio. We take the accidents and we take the fender benders.
Yes, actually, the weather loading has nothing to do with the snow outside. It has everything to do with a whole bunch of other things are going on here at the studio all at once. Good morning, Deb.
Why did you flinch like somebody pinched you?
When? Where?
Just now you go, oh, okay, nothing to do with the weather.
No.
Oh.
Well, the weather, my weather loading onto the computer has nothing to do with the weather outside.
Oh, well, I tell you what, I'm just fortunate that you're there. Why don't you grace my ears with what you know the weather may do?
Well, we are expecting more snow showers in the forecast for today. Plus, it's going to be a little bit on the breezy side. We are in a winter weather advisory and a winter weather warning through 9 o'clock tonight. That means we're going to get anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snow. Now, that just depends on where you're at in the valley. Now, if you're up in the higher elevations, obviously you're going to get more snow than what you will be in the lower elevations. We're looking at a high of about 34 for today. Tonight, low of 27. Now, we're going to expect some snow showers through about 9 o'clock tonight. Those should be tapering off. And then for tomorrow, keep our fingers crossed for partly cloudy skies, high of 32. Then for Saturday, more clouds are going to be rolling in, and we do have a slight chance of snow showers on Saturday evening, high of 32 again, and then possibly more snow showers for Sunday.
That's enough, Gina. That's enough. Please, that's enough. Oh.
School closures as well.
Yeah, let me wrap up this weather, and I'll come right back to you. Okay, the weather brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door or give them a call at 678-6945. Now, on to the school closures. I have a list that you sent me, and I thank you for that. And we're going to get Burley Livestock on here in just a minute. But quickly, is there or are there any additions to that list?
As Gooding and the CSI Centers for Gooding and Jerome.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got that one.
I do.
That's all that we have. So you would have the complete list of what all of the school closures.
Okay, I'll run it through the list real fast, and then I'll get my Burley Livestock on. Gina, God bless. Thanks so much.
You betcha.
Thank you. The school closures that we do have so far: Bliss School District, Buell, Camas Fairfield, Canyon Side School, Castleford School District, Clear Lakes Christian, Filer School District, and the games and practices are canceled also. Glens Ferry School District, Gooding School District, Hagerman School District, Heritage Academy, Idaho School Deaf and Blind, Jerome Academy, Jerome School District, Lighthouse Christian School, North Valley Academy, Richfield School District, Shoshone School District, Twin Falls, Valley, and Wendell. Those are the ones that we have that are closed today. Right now, Merv May, come on in here. Let's sell some cattle here.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves. They're here to get all 31, 31.
That's the chant of the world's best auctioneer, Merv May, at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. And the number to call for cattle consignment and sale information, 678-9411. Merv May, Cade Rogge, and Lance Udy, all working for you at the sale that does work for you. Burley Livestock Sale Yard, sale time this morning, 10:30. Here's what I know. Many cattle are going to go through the ring today, and I know that P-Bar-S Dairy is bringing in 104 head of 850-pound steers, good ones. Ward Dairy over at Burley. Hello, how are you folks doing? 45 head of 950-pound steers. And the H.D. Dunn Ranch up at Driggs, they're coming on down with two semi-loads of butcher cows and a semi-load of mixed cows. And the Moo View Dairy bringing in 40 head of ripping good 800-pound Holstein steers, along with the trailer line run. Sale time at 10:30 this morning at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves. They're here to get all 31, 31, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, selling $1.35. Does that mail get bottom again?
No, thank you much, Merv. I appreciate it. Now, I want to reiterate that as far as we know right now, and please bear with me on this, folks, we are going to have lunch bunch today at 11:30. Now, if all of a sudden over the next couple of hours the roads really get ticky-tacky and icy and skate rink type atmosphere, I'll make a decision before 11 o'clock. But right now we are definitely going to have plans to have lunch bunch at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley, and delicious breakfasts. Oh, they've got so many different kinds of pancake breakfasts. You got to try those red velvet pancake puppies with white chocolate chips and cream cheese. They're good. I know. Don't forget Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, with really nice people and great menu items. And today is lunch bunch, and of course at 11:30 we'll be there. Our thanks to Smith's Foods, Stokes Groceries, and Handsome Mortuary for our door prize drawings. We really appreciate you at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. We got to catch up here a little bit. I also want to remind you that we thank our dear friends over to Ramsey Heating and Electric. I will be talking to Rita at 9:30 this morning on Thursday, like we always do. They've got all your heating and electrical needs. As a matter of fact, my thanks for the fantastic service. We had some trouble with our outside lights. John Paul was here yesterday. The best fixing our problem. Absolutely. Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday. And the number to call, 678-0459, where they provide warm winters and cool summers at Ramsey Heating and Electric. All right, the Democrats. Yeah, the Democrats, numbers of un-American, anti-tradition and politeness Democrats, now almost 70. Really, come on. The Democrats and what they're doing is showing our kids what it is when you look up the word total disrespect. I can't imagine, really, if I were a House of Representatives member. It's tradition. It's America changing the power roles from one administration to another. You don't just sit there and pout. And this is absolutely repulsive. 70 House of Representatives. And they said, nope, we're not going to go. We're going to pout. We don't like Trump. We don't think he's a fair president. Nope, we just think he's not legitimate. Oh, my gosh. Their own personal opinion. And then I heard something on the news the other day, and I'd like you to call and respond to this. Some commentator that had the IQ of a box of rocks said, well, it doesn't make any difference if they're there because their districts are blue Democrat districts anyway. Now, there is nobody in this world that is going to commit to and demand that I think there are no Republicans or independents in those respective districts. Sure there are. And they're not being represented by politeness and the American attitude of their representative if they, male or female, does not go to the inauguration ceremony. I think it's repulsive. And yes, I'm going to keep calling the Democrats out on their total disrespect. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I would be willing to bet, like we've told our kids, all of us have said this to our kids at one time or another, hey, you better shape up because someday you're going to wish that you had not done this or that. You're going to feel sorry about that. Well, when the Democrats grow up, I think they're going to realize their stupidity. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'm chuckling because I've asked them to come on the program. I have, many, many times. Members of the Democratic Party, and talk about their platform, talk about the whys and wherefores. And as of today, we, after many, many years, have still not heard from them. Aren't they really nice, outgoing people? Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. The number to call for an appointment so that you can start getting back to feeling like you. 678-1191. 678-1191. Headed up by Nick Greenwell, physical therapist. All the physical therapists that really know their stuff. All the exercises, sports medicine, hydrotherapy pool. I love that. And the water's nice and warm. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, 678-1191. And while you're checking things out, don't forget our dear friends over at Berry Equipment and Rental. I absolutely urge you to remember they have all the equipment to get any job done right. They've got locations on South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Juan, if you're listening, call me. And don't forget they've got the best of equipment rentals, retail equipment sales, and on the rental used Bobcat equipment that they're selling right now, 0% interest on 48 months. Wow! You better check it out. Berry Equipment and Rental, Jerome, Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. This is nuts. I was going through the list of what Obama has done or not done through his 8 years as President of the United States. And without any smoke and mirrors, Obama has done some very sick and perverted power monger type attitudes. Commuting the sentences of various criminals, whether they are drug pushers or own certain drug rings that they were making buku millions of dollars, and they were a real negative out on the streets of the United States, letting these people go through a commutation of their sentence. But the one yesterday, I know the day before, he commuted the sentence of Bradley Manning. But the one yesterday in commuting the sentence of Oscar Lopez Rivera. Remember that name. This man, Oscar Lopez Rivera, is nothing more than the lowest form of humanity as a bomber, a terrorist, and a killer. This subversive killer, his goal was to absolutely overthrow the government of the United States of America. This is a bad dude, real bad dude. And he was the instigator of many, many bombings that took place in the 80s and late 70s. And they finally caught this guy, and he's sentenced to rot, hopefully, in jail. But what does Obama do? He commutes his sentence. Now, many of the people that lost family members due to his bombings are absolutely livid, irate, and they're beside themselves. Their loved one is not going to be home for birthday parties, Thanksgiving, Christmas, etc. But this sleaze, Oscar Lopez Rivera, is getting an Obama Monopoly Board pass and a get-out-of-jail-free card. Those families will never have their loved ones back. But this despicable president let this killer terrorist out, is letting him out, Oscar Lopez Rivera. You know, I'm scared what this man, Obama, is going to do today. Today. I've got one of those little countdown to Obama's last day, little electronic deals today showing a 1 day left. 1 day of Obama as president. And I'd like to get your thoughts on this. I am very, very afraid what he's going to do in the period in the Oval Office today. There has been rumors, I'm sure you've heard them, that Bo Bergdahl may be another one that is going to be set free. No problem. Enjoy life. Today. We'll see. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it very possibly could. He commuted Bradley Manning's sentence 30 years early. Oh, he said he had a tough time in prison. Well, when you do things wrong and against society and against our laws, gee golly, yeah, it's a tough time in prison. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Come on, folks. I know the snow and the rain, the yuck and the muck, but come on, give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. While I'm waiting patiently for your call this morning, don't forget Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Hello, Dr. Christine Pickup. How are you? And I urge you to give her a call and make an appointment for a hearing screening. You know, the health of hearing might be affected by your cardiovascular and kidney health, or your medicines that you're on, or diabetes, any one of those things, and much, much more. So please call 312-0957, and she's located across from the Minidoka Hospital Emergency Room, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Please call today and let her help you. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. All right, now it's your turn. Come on, give me a call. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Oh, and by the way, while I have just a moment here, I want to remind you about our dear, dear friend, excuse me, Dr. History, Dr. Ken Turner, every Tuesday right here on Zeb at the Ranch at 10:06. Brought to you by Minicash Sales, Zach and the crew at 1321 East Main Street in Burley, right across from the airport. Number to call, find out more. They'd love to visit with you, 878-2091. Upgrade your windows, all your carpet, luxury vinyl, it's all there. And they'll help find the contractors to do the installation. Minicash Sales in Burley. Yep, come on now, your turn, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. There is a group, excuse me, got a little frog in my throat. Get back in the swamp where you belong. There is a group called Disrupt 20. Disrupt 20. And I followed this a little bit yesterday. There was a video put out by this group, Disrupt 20, and they are advocating very openly on video, and they've been interviewed on the radio, etc., that they are going to advocate violence tomorrow to absolutely upset everything and anything with the inauguration in Washington, D.C. Now, some of the things that they are planning to do are create a series of human blockades across Washington, D.C., where the participants will protest against a variety of Trump's proposed policies, from immigration reform all the way to climate change. They say that they have literally thousands and thousands of people in their Disrupt 20. And I don't know about you, but I'm going to be very blatant, open, and honest that I think it's time, like I said the other day, for the police to get out the billy clubs, and it's time to drag these people out of the other people and taxpayers' way. It is appalling to me on circumstances where they have blocked bridges and hunkered down on roadways and won't let traffic, even emergency traffic, get through. There have been deaths attributed to these protests that do this. There have been, mothers giving birth to babies where it was touch and go to get them to a hospital for the care they need. No. I have no milk of human kindness for people that would possibly put other people's lives in danger when they claim they are exercising their First Amendment rights. No way. Here's a quote from one of these crackpots of Disrupt 20. We call on all people of, get this, good conscience to join in disrupting the ceremonies. If Trump is to be inaugurated at all, let it happen behind closed doors. Show the true face of security state Trump will preside over. It must be made clear to the world, the whole world, that the vast majority of people in the United States do not support his presidency or consent to his rule. That's absolutely insane and completely erroneous. Excuse me. But what they started with last night, these groups of weirdos and troublemakers, they had a gay dance parade right outside Vice President-elect Mike Pence's home on his lawn, and property damage happened, et cetera, et cetera. You know, turn on the lawn sprinklers, and if you have anything as far as electrical underground sources, turn them on full tilt. I mean, this is ridiculous that they would be openly advocating violence and harm to others, this group called Disrupt 20. I want you to call me right now. Come on, give me a jingle. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let me know your thoughts about this open violence. It's like they're declaring war on people that want to honor the system with the inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump. Give me a call. Hurry up, please. While I'm waiting, I want to remind you, Redder's Showcase. Hello, Guy Redder. How you doing? over at 2611 Overland Avenue in Burley, because going on right now, the annual January clearance sale at Redder's Showcase in Burley. They've got all the Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid appliances on sale. All the Serta mattresses are on sale, up to 45% off on 2016 models of Serta mattresses. Oh my, up to 12 months, same as cash on approved credit. You better get over there today. Don't put it off. Great big January clearance sale at Redder's Showcase, 2611 Overland Avenue in Burley. Really nice people. My goodness. Wheels, did you turn off the phone? What are you doing over there?
I think everybody's laying in bed with some hot chocolate.
No, now don't give that wishful thinking out. You just want to go back and cuddle up on your My Pillow with a blanket and hot chocolate and go back to sleep. No, you've got to get up and greet the world.
You know, honestly, not to change the topic from Donald Trump's inauguration, but to My Pillow, I think I'd rather, well, I guess at Walmart you can go buy it for a lot cheaper than you could from the guys online.
Oh, you're really helping advertisers a lot. You're really helping them. Holy smokes.
I know, I'm so grand.
Yeah, I know you are. We got a call coming in. Thanks, Wheels. You're disrupting advertising. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. What I have to say is they talk about all of their rights to protest and everything, and I guess if they do, that's fine. But what about the rest of us' rights? And as far as I'm concerned, anybody that's there causing problems and going to do bodily harm to somebody, they better have a big cattle car and load them all up and haul them off to jail.
Let me ask you something.
We need to have a nice inauguration for President Trump, because he's the only one that's out there that's got guts enough to save this country.
Yeah. Let me ask you a couple of questions, and I'm so glad you called me. From a lady's perspective, I get criticized heavily by many of these people in the Valley that are of liberal backing, and they say, oh, you're advocating violence, and you're advocating this, that, and the other. I'm advocating that people of common sense prevail, and if you have emergency vehicles that can't get through because of these kids and these millennials and these troublemakers laying in the street, my option is to send in the National Guard, literally drag them by the nape of the neck off to the side of the road, chain them if you have to light poles, but the general public should not be subservient to this kind of garbage.
That's right, because like I say, they're taking our rights. And I don't know how come all of these liberals think that their rights are the only ones that count.
Well, and what do you think, though, now that I got you on the air, too, what about the demo brats, the House of Representative members, 70 of them in round figures that are not going to attend, and they're acting like spoiled children? What are your thoughts on that?
It's just too bad that they're in a state that's going to keep voting them back in, because they do not... they don't belong in there because they're not there for the people.
I agree.
They've been there for so many years, and all they want is what they can get for themselves and to cause trouble.
Absolutely.
So they can all go home and leave the rest of us alone.
I agree with you, and I thank you for your call this morning. And may you have a very safe weekend with all the bad weather, okay?
I'm staying home and going nowhere, and I just hope and pray that all goes well tomorrow, and that I hope Trump has his gun-proof vest on so they can't shoot him and cause any trouble.
I agree with you.
Cops have their billy clubs and haul them off.
I agree with everything you said. God bless you. Thank you very much. You're a very nice lady. Thank you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Thank you.
Well, good morning. I know why people aren't calling in because I just unwrapped my fingers from around the steering wheel traveling in on Highway 30. So I'm sure everybody's white-knuckling it and behave themselves and not talking on the phone while they're driving. So.
Let me ask you, I have not been out on the roadways this morning, naturally. I'm sitting here in my studio. What are the road conditions where you drove into work this morning?
Well, I live at Milner, and work in Burley, and I took the river road 100 south, and it wasn't too bad till I hit pavement, and I hit Highway 30 about the 5-mile curve, and it is ice, and snow and slush on top of ice, and it was snowing pretty good.
Oh, my.
Before I hit Coors, and then it started raining again, just outside of, just about Union Seed.
Oh, my. And they're pretty treacherous, right?
Not fun.
Well, and I really appreciate your calling and letting me know this, because I've got to make a decision probably during the 10 o'clock hour at the latest as to whether or not I want to have the lunch bunch and get those folks out on the roads. I don't want to have anybody get hurt.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty in Burley. The streets are, there's a lot more snow out here. I left in Maine, and then it turned to snow, so there's a lot more snow here in Burley than there was out in Murtaugh.
All right. Well, listen, while I've got you on the phone, what do you think about the demo brats and the way they're acting and all this issuance of possible terror tomorrow from some of these young people that want to have violence?
I am totally appalled. And I think at this point we have more control over the weather than we do those idiots. Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
That's just about the way I feel about it. I can't believe that our president, for one more day, is allowing this, and he is. He's allowing this. He could stop this, but that's just another one of his commutations, letting these people get away with it, just like he's getting all of these other people pardons. And yeah, to your point, we're going to see one more day is going to bring it. I think we're going to really figure out what he's up to now.
I agree.
And then Palm Springs tomorrow for him on our nickel. So
that's true. I am so glad that you safely arrived at your point of work. And now here, do these hand exercises. Stretch your fingers back a little bit and then make a fist.
Where I work, they do lots of exercises. So I'll go in and get my knots all worked out before I go to work.
I just realized who this is. God bless you for your call, and thank you. I appreciate that, telling us about the roads. God bless. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
All righty, take care. There's a nice lady. I'm really not aware of what the road conditions are. I have the studio built here in my home, and I know my wife stepped outside the door this morning first to take Ruby outside, our little corgi mini Aussie, and she said, "Whoa, it's slippery out there." So it's not nice. Not nice. Be careful, please. Well, more calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Deanne, if you could come in here for a few minutes, we're going to have to make a decision here. I know it's early, but we're going to have to make a decision. We don't want to have anybody get injured at Lunch Bunch. And she's going to talk to Thomas over at Denny's, and we'll get that on the air. I'm so concerned about not only driving, I'm concerned about walking, and I don't want anybody to slip and fall and get hurt. Boy, that worries me. It worries myself for me, too. I don't like being out there. Snake River Auto Body and Paint, 404 4th Avenue West in Twin Falls. We're going to be talking to Dan Whitman later on. Caller, I'll be right there. If you've got a ding, a scratch, a great big bump on your vehicle that looks ugly and you need to get it fixed, these people are the best. They accept all the insurances, and if you need an estimate and scheduled for repair, do it. Call them at 734-5790. 734-5790. They are the best. And how do I know that? Well, they've done repairs for me. I've had shopping carts hit the pickup and I had another one back into me. My goodness sakes. Snake River Auto Body and Paint. The best in Twin Falls. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. This is George Faulkner.
Yes, sir.
And you asked what we thought we'd do with those people demonstrating like that. I would say take all their welfare checks away and put all the young people in the service and send them to Afghanistan so they'd appreciate the United States.
George, now let's just back up here for a minute. I know you, and I know your attitude, and I know your service to our country. As a veteran, you fought for everything the Constitution holds in value and the amendments, first, second, whatever. But when these people take advantage of possibly hurting and harming other people with what they call their First Amendment rights, I say call in the dogs and disperse, because I don't have any time with anybody hurting someone else for their cause.
Well, I agree with you 100%. And I hope they're mean dogs.
Hey, by the way, while I got you on the phone real quick, Saturday morning, I've been telling everybody about it. The American Legion Post 77 is going to have free donuts and coffee for the veterans, the men and women that served our great country. And it's going to be over at the Wilbur C. Hall, American Legion Post 77, 132 Wayne Street in Paul, from 8 to 11. Right, George?
That's right, and I sure thank you for putting that plug in.
Well, you're welcome, and by golly, if I could get over there, I'd want coffee with a little cream, and I love bear claws.
If we see you there, I'll see that you get it.
All right, George, God bless you, man. Thanks.
Thank you.
You bet. What a nice man. Very, very nice man. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Did you hear about the fourth grade teacher in Michigan? I got the story on this here. Hold on just a second. Fourth grade teacher in Michigan took it upon himself to send a letter to the parents of his fourth grade class in Williamston, Michigan, and he said he is not going to allow the students to watch and listen to Donald Trump's speech for the inauguration. No. He said it's just not going to happen in his class. He said it might do more harm than good, and he doesn't want it. Now, I wanted to have you also know, caller, I'll be right there. He let the students in past classes, when Obama was inaugurated in 8 and 12, oh, yeah, they could listen to that, and that was a class assignment. But now with Donald Trump, you can't watch it in his class. Oh, the left. Oh, the left. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thanks for your call. What can I do for you?
It's chilly. Yeah. Anyways, I was calling. I just was saying, got to look in a lot of these guys that are protesting and these people that are doing that. If you really look at them, most of them are, like you said, the millennials and some that are even a little older than that. But most of them couldn't whip their way out of a wet paper bag, so I don't see why there's not being more done to stop this nonsense.
All right, now I'm going to put you on the spot there, because I think you and I are on the same page, but I want you to amplify what you mean. What would you do if you were a police chief? What would you tell your policemen? Now, in past protests, we saw it happen in Ferguson. We've seen it happen in other locations, like in Baltimore. The police are going into a dangerous situation with both hands tied behind them, and it seems like the bad guys, the vermin that are out there burning and looting and taking and hurting and spitting on people, they get away with it. I know what I would say. I'd like to hear what you'd say if you were the police chief.
Well, first of all, you need to have safety. Safety is number one, I think, there. For the protesters, they need to be safe, too. Most of the harm there is going to be self-inflicted. They're going to throw themselves on the ground like a kid throwing a temper tantrum in the store. Well, I wouldn't have dared done that growing up with my mom and dad, because I'd have been whooped right there in the store.
That's right.
And that would have been the end of that.
That's right.
Most of these kids have never had any discipline. And what they need now is to go in there and try calmly, get everybody to move. If that won't work, then you make them, you know. I mean, if you got a colt that's running into your bit and just keeps pushing, you don't just shove him down the road to the next guy. You fix it. You change things up. You make it work.
You absolutely are right.
Overcome and adjust.
Yeah. You know, in these, like this Disrupt 20, that have already disrupted and they've already created some property damage, and this is the group that's advocating violence through today and especially tomorrow, and they want to have these human blockades and everything, I would go, just like you said it very articulately, that I would go as a chief and I would say, I'd get on the speaker system and I'd say disperse and make room for these cars and the pedestrian traffic so these honest, hardworking people can get to work, or they can get to hospitals, or they can get to wherever. If not, I give them the count of 10 to start dispersing, and then I'm telling you, Dodge City and Matt Dillon are going to rain on their parade.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this is getting to be such a ridiculous thing. I mean, we've got people now, and I don't have any evidence of it. This is just my opinion, but I believe that we've got full-time protesters on a payroll.
Yeah.
But that's what they do. All they're doing is protesting. They're stirring the pot, And I'm not one to judge anyone. I like to try and look for the best in everyone. But there's a point in time where all of that, like you say, the milk of human kindness has been run dry.
Yep.
It's time to grow up, man up, shut up, or get the hell out of the road because we're coming on through anyway.
I love that last line, and that's exactly what should happen. I don't want to see anybody get hurt on either side, but it boils down to this, that when they are stopping people from getting to work, they're stopping the ebb and flow of traffic that needs to go back and forth in a society that's trying to work and get the job done, or service vehicles, ambulances, fire trucks, whatever, then it's time to call in, like I said, Matt Dillon, and things are going to move whether they like it or not. That's what should happen.
Yes, sir.
God bless you for your call. Have a great day. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. You can't cater to these people anymore, and we have. Oh, yeah, the bleeding heart liberals in the audience. Oh, you're advocating violence. Why, you right-winger, what's the matter with you? I can hear them. But you know what? If a mother is giving birth and there's problems and complications, and the baby and the mother may not make it, and you've got these protesters blocking the road, oh yeah, if I were the police chief, there would be an open road. No matter how, you have to get the final result. Time for the weather. And the weather brought to you by the Urgent Cares. Riverview Urgent Care, 382 North Overland and Burley. Callers, stay tough. I'll be right with you. Twin Falls Urgent Care, 2392 Addison Avenue East in Twin, and Jerome Urgent Care, 133 West Avenue A in Jerome. They are open 7 days a week, and minor emergencies, major care. Don't forget, whether it's a cough, a laceration, sinus infection, whatever, they can help, they will help at the Urgent Cares. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Be prepared for some slick driving conditions as we are expecting more snow throughout today and tonight. Here is your weather forecast. We are in a winter storm warning that is going to be in effect through 9 o'clock tonight. We are expecting anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snow today. It's going to be rain and snow mixed. High of 34. Tonight we're expecting a low of 20. Looks like mostly cloudy skies for tonight. Snow showers this evening, but those are going to be tapering off overnight, low right near 24. Tomorrow, looks like partly cloudy skies, high of 32 with an overnight low of 26. Saturday, we do have a slight chance of snow showers in the forecast, high of 32 with an overnight low of 18, and then possibly more snow showers for Sunday with a high of 33. That is your weather for Zebeth Ranch.
And thank you, Gina. Brought to you by the Urgent Cares, Riverview Urgent Care in Burley, Twin Falls Urgent Care, Twin, Jerome Urgent Care in Jerome. Minor emergencies, major care. Caller, good morning. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, Zeb, good morning to you. I'll try to make this short and sweet. First of all, I lost a little respect for Mr. Trump when he took that crime deal off that woman.
Yes.
She ought to be the leader of the pack, and you ought to pick up the rest of that vermin and take them over there to Cuba. Well, we got a lot of vacancies over there, seems like. And take half of Burley with you, and take half of Rupert and Twin Falls and Boise, and You take them vermin with you, too, and maybe we'll have some freedom and get back to the way that life ought to be.
I appreciate your call, and you have a great day, sir. Thank you very, very much. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
They hung up, sir.
Well, tell them to call back. My goodness sakes. No, it's this is a situation in America that has got worse and worse and worse over the years. Seriously. I feel a lot of compassion for the police forces and also firemen. I mean, my son is a fireman, and he's told me some of the things that happen up in Boise. And this mamby-pamby approach to, oh, well, we got to treat these people with kid gloves. Oh, we've got to be so careful. Oh, we've got to watch out that if we move them physically that we don't get sued and we don't have to have all the court cases and all the bad press and everything. Enough. When I start hearing stories like in Florida, New York, Chicago, L.A., Seattle, of where emergency vehicles have had life-threatening situations and they couldn't get through, and some people have died because of these protests and these, like Disrupt 20, blocking roadways and streets and becoming human blockades all across different cities and intersections. It's time to end this. Like the one gentleman that called a little bit ago, you go out there, you warn them to disperse to the sidewalks or other locations where they can have their protest and let their voices be heard, but they are not going to block the roadways. They are not going to cause anybody else any possible physical harm, and that's it. You do not handle them like a Leave It to Beaver TV sitcom. You go and move them. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. Is it my turn?
I hope so. You're talking.
Okay, well, I didn't hear anybody get me on the other end, so I didn't know whether I was in or out. Anyway, I think these guys are just cretins. They're not American. They're just horrible people when they try to destroy and disrupt. You know, taking somebody's life and making it in danger is ridiculous.
Yep.
It shouldn't be allowed. And I think anything they have to do to stop it, they ought to do it, period.
And here's the other thing, Jerry, that if the Democrats with Obama and Schumer and all these other people and all the 70 so House of Representatives that are boycotting the election, they should be speaking out and saying things like, don't cause violence, don't disrupt, don't endanger other people. But they're not saying a doggone thing, and I have no respect for the Democrats.
Well, and I'm just wondering what our world-famous one-day leader is telling the people, whether to go in and take care of it or let it go. I don't know what he's doing. I don't trust him, I'll tell you that. He's sure proven to me over 8 years of his administration that he is not a good president. He is not a good American. He is not a person worthy of even washing garbage cans on Monday afternoon for about 20 minutes a day. He couldn't even qualify for that.
Well, I don't think he has put too much physical labor in his resume. Jerry, God bless you. Thank you. I appreciate your call.
You bet. You have a wonderful day, and may the Lord bless you and every one of them ears out there listening to the program today.
All right, Jerry. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Caller number 2, please just stay with me. I'll be right with you. I got to get this in. Our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, they have all your traction tires. This is a mess out there today, and looks like it's going to last for a while with the ice, the rain, the snow, everything. Please get your traction tires at any one of the 7 locations. They've got all the traction tires. They've got the best in brake service. That's not brag, that's a fact. They've got the best in front end alignment, shocks and struts, and batteries to turn over the engine on that big four-wheeled wonder of yours. Stop in, and of course, the best in service. They will really take care of you. At Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Overland in Burley. the best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Caller, I have exactly 60 seconds. Go real fast.
Good, because that's all I wanted to say. I just want to make a slight correction. You're calling the group Disrupt 20. I don't know if it means anything or not, but it's really Disrupt J20.
You know, it's been shown on the news media two ways. Disrupt 20, and it is like that on my reports that I had sent to me. And you're right. On the other reports, it had Disrupt J20, and I just simplified it and I called it Disrupt 20. I don't think really we're going to get into a big name disparagement.
If somebody wanted to look it up, they wouldn't be finding it under. Maybe.
No,
I don't know.
I think Deanne.
That's all I wanted to say.
No, I appreciate it. God bless you for your call. All right, thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. All right, the lady is correct. There is two ways of looking it up: Disrupt J20, or we just looked it up, Disrupt 20, and it came right up that way, and it's printed on this particular story as such. So she's right. You can look it up either of two ways, as this sinister group that wants to create kind of a volatile situation of violence and everything else against Donald Trump. Thank you for that call, by the way. We are going to take a little break, run to the news from CBS, and then come back with the Chamber of Commerce report right after that. Have a good day. Be careful out there. Oh, my goodness. Zeb Bell here. Wheels over there as we have Zeb at the Ranch on the radio with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, serving you and, of course, some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Waste Services.
I've said it before, I will say it again. Nobody takes care of getting rid of your garbage better than Western Waste Services. Call, get on the route service, and they're like a great big clock. They're right on time, let me tell you. Always at your disposal. Call them, 734-6969. Great folks at Western Waste Services. They care, and they'll get rid of your garbage because they are always at your disposal. Western Waste Services. We're going to have the Chamber report in just a moment. Stand by. Kyla's waiting over there at the Chamber office. I know she's anxious to get on the program, but first of all, I want to tell everybody about Ark Animal Hospital as Wheels clears his throat. That's not a good sign. Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street in Hayburn. Number to call, 678-1177. They have warm hearts for cold noses. They've been voted Minnecache's best veterinary hospital many times. Dr. Bill, Dr. Liz, the whole crew, a mixed animal practice, meaning big or small. They love and take care of them all. Ark Animal Hospital in Hayburn, 678-1177. Okay, Wheels, I heard you.
Alrighty, sir. Well, I was watching for the phones. I have not gotten a call from Kyla yet, but I did call the Chamber of Commerce. And I went directly to her phone in her office and left her a voicemail.
Okay, well, gee, I wonder if they're mad at me over there. I hope not.
I hope not either.
Let's make sure that you keep trying, if you would. I'm trying to remember the number out of memory. Hold me. It's 679-4793, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, see, mine like a steel trap. Deanne, if you'd get that, yeah. Or you want to try Kyla on her, Deanne, you call her on that phone and see where she is, would you please? Okay, we'll stay at it, my friend. I'll do another set of commercials, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Hey, don't forget our dear friends, as I'm trying to ad-lib and figure out where everybody is this morning. And we want to say thanks again to Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Every day we start the program with our weather forecast, sponsored by Kyle and Whitney, and their great business, carpet and flooring, kitchen construction, home decor items, whatever you need to make your house a home. At Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. And don't forget, look for the Blue Door. Really good folks. We're kind of padding time a little bit because I don't know what happened to Kyla over at the chamber for the report, and hopefully we'll hear from her in just a moment. While, again, I am waiting, we'll take some outside calls. So give me a jingle at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Joel Heward, what a gentleman. What a great contributor to the community at Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. His family, his staff, and they're there. They are there when you need them to be there, always with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. When there's the passing of a loved one, please contact them. They can and will help. 436-5636. 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert.
She's at the office.
Okay.
I told her that Damon would call.
All right. Damon, call her again. Did you get her on the line? Evidently, he's gone too.
Just called in, sir.
All right. Thank you much. And good morning to Kyla over at the Chamber of Commerce. Take your gold star off the wall. You're late.
Hi, Zeb. I am late. I apologize. How are you this morning?
I am great. Hey, by the way, how are the roads out there for you trying to get to the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce?
Well, it's interesting. I don't know if you just saw that Minnedoga County Schools just closed school. It'll be closed effective 10 o'clock. You can jump on their Facebook page
Okay.
and see that they just made that announcement. And truthfully, I live on the south side. And, it was slow going in today. It was more slush, I would say, than snow, if that makes sense. It's kind of a slush-snow combination. But, people are driving slow. On the north side, though, definitely it sounds like a totally different world.
Yeah.
So everybody out there, just be safe. That's the best thing that I can tell you right now.
All right, Kyla, what's happening at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce? Here we are. Can you believe it's almost the end of January?
I can't. This month just flew by. It seems like we just had Christmas. So, we've got a lot going on. This is your last chance by Tuesday. Actually, I think by Monday or Tuesday, if you want to register for our QuickBooks class, it's taking place at CSI Minnecasia. The cost is just $120. Give us a call, 679-4793. That class is filling up. I think we only have a couple more spots left. So please give us a call if you're interested. And then the big chamber banquet will be January 26th, so a week from today over in Burley. And if you would like tickets, please give us a call. Tickets are $25 for members and a little bit higher for non-members, but it should be a really, really fun event. Great celebration to, wrap up the year and then get started on this year. And so, again, give us a call, 679-4793.
Kyla, I missed the meeting yesterday for the community chest, and I know there's a lot of really, really nice, helpful people on that board. I felt bad. I had contacted and left word that I was way over on the west end, and I couldn't get all the way back over way to the east end in time for that meeting, and I apologize.
Oh, my goodness. You know what? Well, we talked about you, Zeb, so that's all good. No, I'm just kidding. We knew you were busy. And, they do a wonderful, wonderful service here in the community. And the Minnecasia Community Chest, for those that don't know, they're the ones that actually own the building. And they are the ones that raised the funds for the building about 20 years ago.
Right.
And so, there's just a ton of great people on that board. We're very thankful to them. They talk about all the great groups and projects that they help out with. And if you want to get involved in this community, that would be another great one to definitely get involved with. So we'll see you next time. I'm not worried about you, Zeb. I know you're busy, too.
What I'd like to do, and I was going to mention that yesterday if I got there, I'd like to do kind of a little segment someday on the community chest and the involvement in the community, helping others. And if you could kind of bird dog that for me a little bit and line it up, we'll put it on the air.
I would love to. You know who we have to get on the air that I'm going to talk about her? She'll probably get mad at me, but it's Ray Smith.
Oh, my, yes.
She's been part of that since the group started.
I agree.
And so she's one of the, I don't know what you could say, founding members of the group. So she would be wonderful to have on, and there's a few others as well. that do some tremendous work in this community. And there's a lot going on that I don't think people know about that make a lot happen around here. We're very grateful for that.
You know, you just mentioned her name, and I'm going to say this over the radio, and I'd say it publicly anywhere. When you want to learn organizational skills, contact Ray Smith, because just sitting next to her at those board meetings over there for the community chest, I've learned a heck of a lot from that lady. She's pretty sharp.
Yeah, she is very, very sharp, and, we're just grateful to have her. She was honored yesterday by the Mini-Cassia Community Chess Board, and so deservingly so, and so, yeah, definitely. And I love it. She comes in here and keeps everything in line. This building is near and dear to her heart, and we're very grateful for her friendship and support.
You know, what else is coming up now? I mean, my goodness, like I said, it's the end of January almost, and then we're looking at February with Valentine's Day and President's Day and everything. Is there anything else you want to mention this morning?
Well, we'll probably be putting some stuff on sale here pretty quick. I'll talk about that next week to clear out the old inventory from last year and get some new stuff here in the gift shop. We're also gearing up and for the Southern Idaho Women's Expo, which is formerly just the Women's Seminar and Expo, but we're going big this year. We have got a phenomenal keynote speaker, and I'm going to leak it on your show first. Is that okay?
Oh, yes.
Okay, it's going to be Idaho Supreme Court Justice Robin Brody. And so she is going to be phenomenal. She's from this area. I know a lot of people are going to be interested to hear what she has to say, which is talking about the foxholes that we have here in our state. And we're just excited. That is going to be April 13th. The tickets will start to go on sale soon. And also we are accepting calls for vendors. We had over 51 vendors at that show last. So we anticipate already we have, I think, about 10 signed up. And that's just people calling saying, absolutely, put me in from last year. So we'd like to be involved in that. It's a great opportunity to market to a ton of people that come into this area, women and men. So give us a call.
Well, listen, I want to say thank you. And before we wrap it up, there are 3,475 ways people can get a hold of the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. Go ahead and tell us all of them.
Okay, I'm just going to give you the two easiest, but that's our phone number, 679-4793, right here in Hebron. And then also you can just email us or just come on in. We're at 1177 7th Street, right here in Hebron, on the corner there by Riverside RV Park. So please come on by anytime.
All right, Kyla. God bless you. Have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you next Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zeb. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you so much. Nice lady right there at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. Now, she mentioned Minidoka schools closing, and as I had a complete list almost of all the other closures, I'm sure by now at 9:17 in the morning, you know whether or not your schools are closed, and maybe some have closed after your children have been picked up. So get on the phone and call the school offices. We have the list, as I said. I'm just going to give a quick rundown. Bliss, Buell, Camas, Fairfield, Castleford, Clear Lakes Christian, Filer School District, Glens Ferry, Gooding, Hagerman, Heritage Academy, Idaho School, Deaf and Blind, Jerome School District, Lighthouse Christian School, North Valley Academy. I want to mention and insert right there, Minidoka Schools. That's what Kyla just said from the Chamber of Commerce. And Richfield School District, Shoshone School District, Twin Falls Christian School, Valley School District, and Wendell. Now, that is the list as I have it, and I mentioned just a moment ago, Kyla from the Chamber of Commerce, I mentioned Minidoka. If there's any changes or corrections, please call us and we'll get it on the air. One other note that I want to get on, and I talked about this a little bit last hour, that my dear friend George Faulkner and the American Legion Post 77, they are going to have a serving of coffee and donuts free to the veterans, the men and women in this area, coming up on Saturday morning from 8 to 11 at the Wilbur C. Hall, American Legion Post 77, 132 Wayne Street in Paul, and they invite you for coffee and donuts. Doggone, these are good folks. You be sure and stop over and see them Saturday morning from 8 to 11. Good folks. Now, one other word here. What my wife and I are going to do is wait till about 9:45, and this is for all the lunch bunchers out there. We're going to wait till about 9:45 this morning before we make a finalization decision on lunch bunch for today or not. My big concern is, and I'm going to tell you this straight up, I don't want anybody to get injured. I don't want anybody hurt walking or driving on bad conditions. And with Denny's Restaurant, Thomas and the crew, they're going to give us their opinion, and we're going to try to get this on the air for you by 10 o'clock as to a decision. Our monthly lunch bunch at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, starts at 11:30, and I just want to make sure we make the right decision. I don't want anyone to get injured, like I said, walking or driving on slippery or dangerous conditions. So we'll let you know the final thought here in not more than a half an hour, okay? Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I have a moment, before we go and learn all about the dogs and the doggones with Ken Mort, we'll get this in. Let's ride 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Oh, boy, this is where the fun is sold. I am so glad I got that snowplow for my four-wheeler. Yes, I did, from Let's Ride. The service is absolutely the best. Nick and the whole crew, really good folks over there. And they're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 5. The snow machines and all the accessories, the four-wheelers and all the accessories, and the service department. My goodness, what are you waiting for? Get on over there and say hello to Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 by Rupert, where the fun is sold. Also, real quick, if you're over that way, you better call ahead for an appointment, because you really need to protect yourself, your family, and your business by talking to the professionals at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Number to call, 436-4424. I'll say it again, 436-4424. Life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, the best. The pros, Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Wheels, get on the microphone for just a quick second. As I stated a moment ago, Kyla had just got on the phone and said that Minidoka schools had closed. Any other verifications on those, or what's going on? Tell me if you would.
The only one that I know of that Mr. Mort was telling me about while you were doing your commercials is that St. Nicholas is going to be following Minico as far as closing at 10 a.m.
At 10 o'clock this morning. Okay, good.
Yes,
and by the way, you said Mr. Mort?
Yes, Mr.
Who
Mort.
Who is Mr. Mort?
Well, I treat him as such. He's a good man, so I think he deserves being called Mr.
All right. You know, and I respect you, Wheels. You're so polite to everybody. But I tell you, where in the world did all these dogs come from? Holy cow. It's time for Minidoka Animal Control, and here is, and we're going to hold him with all the regal authority that we can give him, Mr. Ken Mort.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you today?
Boy, he thinks a lot of you.
Yes, he does. Every time he sees me, he says, "How's Mr. Mort today?"
Yeah, I wished he could have known you 35, 40 years ago when you were running into trees trying to catch a fly ball.
That's true. He'd be calling me Dorky Mort then.
All right, my dear friend, what's going on in the world of canines?
Well, I just want to remind everybody with the way the weather has been, and the freezing rain, and the snow, and the cold temperatures and stuff in it, make sure your pets, Annette, that you have outside have got adequate protection, plenty of warmth. Get them heat lamps, whatever they need to have, heated water dishes. I mean, everything so that they can actually survive in the elements. Preferably, Annette, if you can, bring them inside. If you've got or live out in the country and you don't like to bring your dogs in the house, put them in the barn, put them in the garage, put them somewhere where it's going to be warm, that they're not going to freeze. I actually had to go pick up a dog yesterday that some people had found a few months ago that they were trying to get brought back to good health and were struggling and everything. That they called me up and said, we can't do it, and can you come and get it and see what you can do with him and everything. When I got out there, because of his condition, and they weren't allowed to have pets in the house, had no other place to put him other than build him a dog house with a heat lamp, he still wound up getting frostbite. So it's one of those and stuff and that take every precaution you can to protect your furry or family members.
You know, let's stop there for a minute and kind of backtrack and go over some of the things. We have an outside dog, and he is not a people dog. He doesn't like anybody. He's the world's best guard dog, and he only listens and responds to either Deanne or myself. And yet, we've got an outside kennel. We straw it down really thick with straw, you know, for the minimal amount of money that it costs to straw it down. He's got a little dog house in there and everything, and heated dog dish. And I'm not bragging that we do things better than anybody else, but we take care of them in the cold weather.
Exactly, and that's the most important thing to do right now. I mean, how would you like to be out there with nothing but your shirt and pants on in this kind of freezing weather for hours on end? I mean, you couldn't handle it, and the dogs are the same way. They don't sweat, so they can't control their body temperatures like we can, so they need plenty of food, plenty of water, on that good shelter with plenty of straw. Also be careful when using straw. Sometimes you might have to go and break down and get you the wood chips like they use in some of the horse pens, and that due to the fact that they do find a lot of dogs wind up being allergic to the straw.
That's true. That's true.
So use every precaution, but take care of them furry friends.
Well, you know, the wood shavings or the straw, but the main thing I really worry about is the water. You know, I mean, any animal in the wintertime, actually horses will drink more water in the wintertime, and you got to have a source that's not going to freeze up.
Exactly, and like I was saying last week, and right over here at Walmart, they've got the heated water bowls. They're in the pet section for $20. Slip down there, buy one of them, and put out there for your pet. Just make sure that they can't get to the power cord to chew on it if they like to chew on things.
Yeah.
And that, but just make sure and stuff and that you've got adequate water on that, with a heated water dish and everything to make sure that they've got what they need to survive.
Well, I think the rule of thumb, and this sounds a little hard and callous, but it's my rule of thumb, if you can't afford them, don't own them.
Exactly, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, if you can't take care of them, on that, don't get them. Or if you've got one that you can't take care of, get a hold of your local animal control facility on that, and get with them, and they will be more than happy to help find a new home for your furry friend.
Absolutely. Now, do you have a featured dog this week?
Actually, I don't. Everything we've got is spoken for and is going to be going to new homes. To include the one that I was surrendered yesterday, I actually had it a home within 15 minutes of picking him up. But people understand that I'm not going to let him go anywhere until I know I can make sure he gets some weight on him. And they are so happy to hear things like that. But I do want to touch base again. We've got our Dessert for Dogs coming up in 3 weeks from today on February 9th from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Historic Wilson Theater. We're still looking for people who want to enter desserts. Also, we're looking for people who want to be corporate sponsors. So if anybody's interested in any of that, they can contact me at 670-7268.
Now, what happens at this event? Does everybody get a chance to go in and buy some of these desserts? How does it work?
Actually, basically what they're going to be doing is the restaurants are going to be that are entering are going to do up 200 samples of their best dessert that they like to make. People will be able to come in and they'll be able to sample that dessert, and then they will judge on what their favorite dessert is in all 4 categories that we've got. And then the winners of those categories receive a plaque that Mad River Laser has done up for us to basically saying and stuff, and that it's the People Choice Award for the 2017 Dessert for Dogs fundraiser for this category, and they'll be able to display it proudly. The private individuals that want to enter their personal homemade dessert, we're having all the mayors in Minidoka County along with one of the county commissioners. They're going to be judging those desserts, and those people and stuff in that are wind up winning the categories there will be receiving a plaque saying Mayor's Choice Award.
Oh, my.
For those categories. So, I mean, we're putting a lot of effort into it. Matter of fact, we're hoping, Annette, that we get a good turnout this year and can continue this every year and make it a yearly event.
Absolutely. Okay, and if they have questions, problems, whatever, what numbers do they call?
All they've got to do is call our facility at 438-2200 or my cell phone at 670-7268.
Well, to re-amplify the lead, Mr. Ken Mort, thank you so much.
And thank you, Zeb.
Minidoka Animal Control. Where'd all these doggone dogs come from anyway? Woo, they're all over. Officer Ken Mort, my buddy, at Minidoka Animal Control. He's a good guy. They've got a super good man for the job there. You know what? I'm caught up for the first time in a long time. I'm caught up on a Thursday to where I don't have to hurry and do this and hurry and do that. And so I'm just going to go back to the phone line and I'm going to say good morning to the lovely Rita Ramsey. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am. You know, I'm always afraid to do that, what I just did, because sometimes I get fooled and there's nobody on the other end.
Oh, don't you love live radio?
Oh, I do. Sometimes it can reach out and slap a person right in the face. Anyway, Rita, okay. Wow. There's so much going on. I don't even know where to start first. I renamed the left party, by the way. I don't know if you heard me or not, but I'm not calling them Democrats anymore. With their spoiled attitude, I'm calling them Demo-brats.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing, is acting like brats. The thing of it is I would be interested to know, just for comparison, were there any Republicans that refused to go to Obama's inauguration?
No.
I never heard of them. I thought we probably would have.
No, I did some research on it, and I went to the same sources that O'Reilly used and also Hannity, and I called back to my friends at the Media Research Center, and unless there was a sickness involved or whatever, no, there were no stayaways from the Republican Party in 2008 and also 12.
In other words, there were no protests.
Right.
Like we're getting with this.
Right. But, you know, amplify that a little bit. 70 House of Representatives. And explain to me why there's such a discernment. It's just the House Representatives that are acting like spoiled little children, but none of the Democratic senators. I wonder why.
There's a ton more representatives than there are senators, and so they won't stand out. Their names probably won't even be published in their area, so their constituents probably won't even know. And unless they're involved in the news and really, you know, somebody starts amplifying their names, they're just nameless. It's just going to be, well, there's just a ton of them that are protesting this, and they aren't going to have to take any personal responsibility, and that's what it's all about. It's personal responsibility. They're just doing it, saying, "Oh, I never supported him," and because that's what the majority of my people wanted. Well, that's not really true, because if you look at the way the voting went, there probably aren't that many of them that their areas were for Hillary Clinton. So it's just one of those things that it sounds to me like they're just spoiled brats, just like you said. And there's no accountability because they probably won't even have their names amplified.
You know, let's talk a little bit more about this, because I heard a commentator yesterday during the noon hour make a statement that I thought was one of the dumbest, most unintelligent remarks I've ever heard. And it was, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not giving a direct quote. It was basically, well, they're from a blue district, so it doesn't matter, their constituents all agree with them. Now, Rita, you know as well as I do, to make an all-encompassing statement like that is basically dumb. There are no such districts anywhere in the United States that are 100% blue. There are red, there are independents, there are Republicans, etc. How can somebody say such a carte blanche statement? It's absolutely unintelligent.
Yeah, that's really true. It's ridiculous, and there's just nothing else to be said about it. It's just off the rails.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit, and I mentioned this last hour. You probably heard me. I was talking about there's two ways to look it up. You can go to Disrupt 20, or you can go Disrupt J20. This group is blatantly, and they have for the last couple of days, blatantly coming out, and they're showing videos of meetings that they've had in planned violence and planned social unrest all over Washington, D.C. tomorrow. This is, Rita, I've had it. These people that are creating hazards for other people, and I said like ambulances, fire trucks, police, etc., I have no more patience. If they're in the way, move them. Do you agree or disagree?
Absolutely. If they get in the way, they need to be scooped out of there by the police and put in holding cells until it's all over with, and maybe even over the weekend.
Well, you know, this mamby-pamby approach, and you know as well as I do that's true, whether it was in Baltimore, whether it was in Ferguson, Missouri, whether it was in L.A., Seattle, all these other places, basically the police have got their hands tied behind them, and these vermin, these millennials taking advantage of the system, they know this, and they're creating a bigger problem. So what would you do if you were the police chief of that respective city?
I would warn them and tell them that they can't do that. They don't have permits to do that. They're breaking the law, and they will be moved into holding cells in jail until it's over with if they insist on interrupting. The end. And that's their choice. They can either do it or not, but that's their choice.
What are we to think when you have even fourth grade teachers, elementary teachers in Michigan? And this man, the teachers at a town in, I'm trying to find the name of the city, Williamston, Michigan, he told his fourth graders, no, you will not listen to the inauguration. You will not see it, watch it on TV as part of our history class. No, you're not going to do it. But in years past with this fourth grade, it was mandatory in 2008 with Obama and 2012 with Obama that they watched it and wrote up a report on it. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I think if I was the school administrator, I would say, listen, you need to let them do that if they want. Have the kids raise their hand and see if they want to watch it, and if the majority want to watch it, fine. If they don't, that's fine too. We voted, that's how things go. The winner is the one who gets the choice. Hello, hello, hello. and teach the kids a lesson on civics.
Absolutely.
And let the kids decide, and if they don't want to, that's fine. I don't know that I would want to do it, except that as a child that age, it'd be like, well, we don't have to do schoolwork, so we can sit and play while the TV's on.
You know, there's another subject I've got to get into. I've got 3 or 4 that are really hot topics this morning, but this one, you better throw a bucket of cold water in my face because I'm so furious over this. Obama has commuted the sentences of Bradley Manning. I am not going to refer to that criminal and that absolute traitor by his transgender name. Bradley Manning, and he commuted 30 years off his sentence. And then yesterday, the commutation of the terrorist bomber Oscar Lopez Rivera that killed people in his bombings as he was trying to overthrow the United States government. And Obama commuted his sentence. I'm so despicably mad at Obama, I don't know what to say. What are your thoughts?
Well, we knew that this was going to happen when he got to the end of his term. The big problem is, as I heard him say about that deal, the Bradley, Chelsea Manning, whatever you want to call it, her, them, the whatever, is that he said, I want to send a message out there. Well, you and I both know that message isn't, well, we have a forgiving heart. The message is that you don't have to pay for what you've done. There's no accountability. You don't have to do it. And I think that what he's basically saying is, I don't have to pay for any of the bad choices that I've made, so why should anybody else? I'm sure that there's a lot of people that know this, but it's kind of been buried, is that he announced Tuesday about a $500 million contribution to the UN Green Climate Fund. That is absolutely something that should not have happened. Congress ought to just cut that off right at the root and change it. The whole thing with Obama is he is going in and doing everything he can to destroy our country. Any of the laws that we've had going, showing, yep, we can do whatever I can do whatever I want because I'm president, And instead of being lawful and doing the things that, normally can be done and within reason and using some common sense. But that's not happening, and I think between now and tomorrow at this time, we'll probably see a lot more things happen that we'll just be flabbergasted about and concerned, and we should be, because he's letting criminals out on the street. Yeah, that one was just espionage and sharing secrets for spying and stuff, but there's a lot of others that he has commuted their sentences or just letting them out that are a danger to all of us.
Rita, a name that has been floated to me this morning from Washington, D.C., when I called back to get some information from one of our major news sources, was look out, it may also include today sometime Bo Bergdahl.
Who?
Bo Bergdahl.
I think that should be something that they squelch really quick. But it wouldn't surprise me at all. That was his pet. That was his way of getting those 5 terrorists out of the Gitmo tank. And the only way he can do it is to say, I'm going to have my way no matter what.
Yeah.
Is to go ahead and pardon Bergdahl as well.
The problems that this man has created, and honestly, and I tried to be fair when I was making my notes for this morning's program, I was trying to look back at the last 8 years, even though I am very prejudiced against him, not his color, his race, but I'm prejudiced against him and his ideology. I was trying to be fair and find something positive that this man has accomplished or done to make our lives better and safer as citizens of this country. I couldn't come up with anything.
Well, he hasn't, and that's what really kind of should make us, shake our head and wonder. And this week, there's been numerous different people and articles about the swearing in of Donald Trump, and actually what they say when they swear in, and what they swear is that I will keep this country safe to the best of my ability. I will go by the Constitution. I will do those things. And he's not just saying words. To Obama, it was just words. It didn't mean a thing. But to some people, it really means that you will do your best to do that. I saw on one show that I was watching a picture of Ronald Reagan's notes that he had when he did his swearing in, and he had underlined them, and I mean it meant a lot to him, and he had them one step at a time, and they were in big print so that he could emphasize. And it's just that just goes to show you how some people really are, and presidents that we've had really are interested in doing what's best for America. It was just words with Obama, and he's getting the last laugh because he is going in and doing everything and saying, I didn't protect America. I didn't do anything that I said I would, and that just proves that you don't have to do what you say you're going to do, and I'm the exception to the rules.
Well, where is over the last 8 years the hope, the change, the unification, and the betterment of America? I wish somebody would point that out to me, because honestly, looking at the overall picture of Barack Obama and the race relations being so much worse today, our security so much lessened today, ISIS and the Islamic Jihad so much more of a problem today. Go ahead, somebody give me a positive.
Well, that's just it. These people who are just so opposed to Trump and think Obama was so wonderful, you could ask them that very question and they don't have an answer, because there isn't one. There is nothing that he has done that has made America better.
Now, I was in a rather heated discussion the other day with somebody that was really denouncing and being denigrating of Donald Trump, of which they had the right to their opinion, which is fine. And yes, there are some holes in the screen door of Donald Trump. You and I both admitted that many times on this program. However, he is the president-elect. And also, I want to tell you that I've looked at every one of those cabinet members. Every single one of them. I have the complete list right here in front of me, with the addition of the Secretary of Agriculture as of this morning, former Georgia Governor Sonny Perdue. And you've got to really look at those people and say that's kind of the cream of the crop for those various positions.
Well, it really is, and no matter what you do or who you decide to appoint as president, there are going to be naysayers, and there's going to be those who are saying, no, don't do it. I think that the majority of who he's appointed, I still don't agree on the Secretary of State thing, but I think the majority of them are good choices, and maybe the one that he's isn't it Tillerson that he is for Secretary of State?
Yeah.
And maybe he will really turn out to be an excellent Secretary of State. So all I can do is say, well, he's the one who gets to choose because he's the one who won the election. And whether I like it or not, I don't have any say in it. And hopefully it will be a good choice.
Let me do a quick weather forecast, and when we come back, I want to talk to you about what the left is going to try to do to former Georgia Governor Sonny Perdue, and I'll talk to you about that in just a minute. Right now, the weather brought to you by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company, with the best of tax return preparation, tax planning, retirement planning. They are CPAs that have been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. Two locations to serve you, 1710 Overland in Burley and 625th Street in Rupert. Work with the very best with your taxes. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Be prepared for some slick driving conditions as we are expecting more snow throughout today and tonight. Here is your weather forecast. We are in a winter storm warning that is going to be in effect through 9 o'clock tonight. We are expecting anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snow today. It's going to be rain and snow mixed. High of 34. Tonight we're expecting a low of 20. Looks like mostly cloudy skies for tonight. Snow showers this evening, but those are going to be tapering off overnight, low right near 24. Tomorrow, looks like partly cloudy skies, a high of 32 with an overnight low of 26. Saturday, we do have a slight chance of snow showers in the forecast, high of 32 with an overnight low of 18, and then possibly more snow showers for Sunday with a high of 33. That is your weather for Zebeth Ranch.
Very well done. Thank you, Gina. Don't forget year-end tax planning. Get those 1099s mailed out. Still got a couple of days in January. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. When I talk about Lyden Crane, he is also very fluent in Spanish and can help offer that service to the folks. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company CPAs in Burley and Rupert. Rita, I don't know if you had a chance to follow some of this story about the naming of Sonny Perdue as Ag Secretary for the Trump administration, but back in 2007, and I'm sure you remember this, the Southeast was devastated in a drought, a severe drought. I had farmers and ranchers on from Georgia and those areas on my program interviewing them about the drought, how they were losing their cattle, they were having to sell out of business, etc. Well, Sonny Perdue and his wife, Mary, were pictured at a gathering to where they were literally on the steps of the Capitol in Georgia, and they were praying for rain, and the left is coming out this morning against Sonny Perdue because he's a Christian. I mean, I'm infuriated by this.
Well, this is just their way of making attacks that they don't have any other thing that they can attack him with. So it's like, well, let's do this. We find out that he met with the people of his state, and we're praying with faith that maybe God would send rain. And if people don't like that, too bad. That's just the way that it is. So to make any kind of criticism in that regard is just stupid. It's just ridiculous because they don't have anything else.
How do you get up in front of a Senate hearing, though, when you're trying to get that position, whether it's agricultural secretary or whatever, and you have the liberal left? And I guess I'm going to come out and say this and paint a picture that it sounds to me like the Democrats are absolutely coming out in a show of force against Christianity. Does that make sense to you?
and this is nothing new. That's absolutely right. There's nothing new about that. They've been after the Christians. You know how they back any Muslims, and they complain about the Jewish. They anybody that's of faith, then they don't like, unless they're Muslim. And if they're Muslim, that's okay, because we just can't criticize that. But it's ridiculous. And if I was that governor, I would say, well, you know, if being confirmed, because I won't back down and say I shouldn't have done that, then don't confirm me. I don't really care, because I was there because I believed that God would hear our prayers and hoped that he would answer our prayers.
You know, I like that response that you just made, because that's the way I feel. I'm very short and blunt in certain instances, and I would just look at that interrogator, if you will, on the other side and say, wait a minute. If you're against my faith, and you're against Christianity, and you're against my invoking God and his son Jesus to help our situation with moisture and hopefully to end this drought, then fine. You take my name off the list, and I'm not going to answer any more questions. I would literally look them in the eye and say that and put them on the defensive.
Well, I would let them be the ones that are at fault for discriminating against someone because he had faith in a higher power than the federal government, which is what they're all upset about. I mean, I didn't see the federal government shipping water down to them to help them get out of their mess. That was their last resort, and it actually should have been the first thing they did, and they had probably been doing it for a number of months, praying collectively in congregations to lift the drought and shower the area with water so that they could keep living and keep their livelihoods going. And I'm not one bit opposed to that. We do that around here. We've had special fasts for this area over the years many times that I can think of, petitioning God to answer our prayers. Absolutely. And bless the area with moisture that we might stay living.
Absolutely. I want to also quickly get into one last subject matter here this morning. I got about 3 minutes left. At noon tomorrow, the swearing-in ceremony. And then there's going to be some time where Donald Trump is supposedly going to start with the writ of his pen, some of the executive orders. What do you hope that he does first and foremost tomorrow?
Well, I don't even care if he gets his pen out. I would hope that he would say, you know what? The first thing on the agenda is going to be, we are going to enforce the laws that are already on our books.
Good.
And then we're going to go to Obamacare and try to get them off of our books and do some of that. It is absolutely ridiculous that we have a lot of these things that Obama has put in and penned in. Those things need to be repealed or replaced or just scratched off the books. But I think the main thing is he needs to let everybody know that we're a nation of laws. We will enforce the laws. That right there would take care of all of the illegal immigration situations.
Yes.
And many, many other things if the law could just be enforced.
I will say this, and I'll go on record, and I think you may agree with me. The first 100 days leading us into the month of April, if Trump has literally failed to follow what he said he would do, his presidency will be over in the first 100 days.
Well, it might not be over as per real, but per se it would be.
Absolutely.
Because he is going to have a ton of people madder than heck that he didn't hold up his promises like he said he would. So I would tend to think, and Trump's a doer, he's not one who just sits back on his laurels saying, okay, I got the title now, everything's wonderful. I think he's going to go to work and start getting some of these things going. That's what he said he would do, and his business ambitions have proven that over the years.
Rita, real quick, any news, meetings, Tea Party, etc.?
Oh, I just wanted to mention one thing, and that's that deal with Representative Heather Scott, who was taken off of all of the committees up at the State House. She was taken off of those committees because she's a Liberty candidate. and one who has really fought against government overreach and regulation and spending, and she was taken off of all of her committees because of that. There's some other hoopla that's going on there besides that, after that had happened, but I think that's really too bad that she would be taken off of her committees because she is in favor of super conservative values.
I appreciate your coming on the program every Thursday. We know we're going to get a straight answer, and I appreciate it. Rita Ramsey, thank you. Hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All
Bye.
right, take care. We will discuss some of that in maybe the next hour, but we've got to right now. I am hungry, and I'm starving to death. I've got some great ideas for you. How about stopping over to the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley? The eggnog shakes and the chicken fried steak sandwich and the fries with the special sauce. Or the famous Farmer Brown burger. It is fantabulous. All the food is great at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Let's head over to the Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. I'm telling you, folks, that new pork burrito with beans, pork, rice, sour cream, and cheese, knock your Tony Lamas off delicious. And then top it off with a pumpkin empanada. Oh, my goodness, all the food is great. You better stop in to the Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. 2 locations for burgers, etc. 124, I'm drooling, I'm hungry. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. And do you know that after 3 p.m. in the afternoon, I'm not kidding, hamburgers only 99 cents. And they've got soup in a bread bowl or a cup, a different flavor Monday through Friday, and all the burgers and the salads and the tater tots, onion rings. It's delicious. Always is, always will be at Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. Steve-O's. How about going to Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn? And they've got a new salad, the chicken breast with bacon and all the goodies. Sounds good to me. I'll bet it's tremendous. And I love the buffalo burgers made with real buffalo, and they got a different soup every day. And cupcakes. They make delicious cupcakes over there. Check it out. Steve-O's, friendly people dedicated to serving you at 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. And last but not least, Doc's Pizza. 514 6th Street in Rupert. Don't forget specials throughout the week, every week. And all you can eat Monday and Thursday for only $8. Pizza, breadsticks, salad bar. It is good. Starts at 5 p.m. and goes till 9. Stop over and enjoy the very, very best at Doc's Pizza, 514 6th Street in Rupert. And don't forget, those are some great places to go when you are hungry and starving to death. Yeah, Deanne, thank you very much. We have already done that a little bit earlier. We added Minidoka County School District and St. Nicholas to the list, and the buses are going to be running to take the students home. And and thank you for that, too. I understand the Senior Junction is closed today. Catherine gave us a call because of the road conditions. And I will say this quickly. Deanne and I are going to meet with some people on the phone during the news from CBS here in a few minutes. We're going to make a final decision on Lunch Bunch today. Bear with us. I will tell you all that information right after the CBS news. Don't go away. Oh, my. I had a lot of thinking and praying to do during the 10 o'clock news, and I'm going to tell you our final decision here in just a few minutes, so stand by. Zeb at the Ranch, Zeb Bell, me, and I want to say thank you to our major sponsor, our Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and also some of our great advertisers, like Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. By the way, too, don't forget our friends at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Hello, Jason. How are you? They've got their great big inventory crunch. a clearance sale where you can save up to 75% store-wide. Oh, my goodness. 12 months interest-free financing. Check that out. They've got it all. Mattresses, all your flooring, all your furniture, everything at the place. Lee's Furniture, floors, and more. 459 Overland in Burley. You stop in and see them today. Okay, we had quite a bit of conversation during the CBS News, and my lovely wife had called many people that attend the lunch bunch from outside the city of Burley to drive into Denny's restaurant at 611 Overland in Burley. And we had to also weigh and factor in one other thing here in my decision, ladies and gentlemen. Both my wife and myself have to go to Burley to the lunch bunch, and then we were going to have to leave relatively early at lunch bunch for Deanne to make a very important doctor's appointment, and myself also in Twin Falls. And with those decisions in mind and a not rescheduling or able to reschedule those doctor's appointments for both Deanne and I, we have decided, and I know it sounds selfish and put the blame on me, but because of road conditions and the school closures and everything else and the potential of more hazards coming down this afternoon in the form of either freezing rain or snow, I am going to take it upon myself, and you can yell, scream, and holler at me, but I think we're going to curtail lunch bunch for today at Denny's. Now, for those of you that live in the area and are going to get together and everything, I hope you have a wonderful time, and please don't be too upset because I feel really bad about this decision. But I had to look at the drive time down to Denny's, and then also leaving Denny's to get all the way back to Twin, the other side of Twin, and attend two very important doctor's appointments that we cannot miss. I made the decision, I guess selfishly, that we are not going to have lunch bunch today. So I apologize to each and every person out there in the listening audience, and we will definitely, my wife and I, try to make it up to you as soon as we can with another lunch bunch gathering. But again, we are going to cancel lunch bunch for today. I didn't want to do that. It makes me feel very, very sad. I apologize. Right now, we're going to have our segment called Cassia County School Days, and it's brought to you by two wonderful businesses, Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and also the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley, and the number to call 677-8888. At a Child's World, of course, they're having all winter clothes. They're now 40% off. You'd better stop in today, and they've got all the Cherokee scrubs, the shoes, the games, the puzzles, everything at a Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And the Ambulatory Surgery Center, for the only place in Idaho that has glaucoma surgery, and the life-saving colonoscopies are performed there every week, and of course knee surgeries, your outpatient surgeries, and they can save you money at the Ambulatory Surgery Center, 1344 Highland in Burley. Number to call, 677-8888. With us on the phone right now is the principal of Declo High School, Roland Bott. Roland, good morning, sir. How are you?
He has not called in yet, sir.
Would you please call him immediately at 312-0629 and get him on the phone?
Definitely.
Thank you. So we're waiting for Cassia County School Days and Principal Roland Bott, and we will see if he'll call us in just a very few minutes. While I'm waiting for his call, and we're going to have him on Cassia County School Days today, I also want to take just a little bit of time right now and talk to you about, I think, the world's best plumber. This man, when you call him, he is there. And when he's there, he gets the job done quickly, efficiently, and professionally. And I'm talking about Nathan Harris at Harris Plumbing NG. The address is 630 Dion in Burley, and the number to call for the best is 431-8633. We've had occasions where we have needed him. He's been here, he's fixed the problem, and he is good. Harris Plumbing NG. Call them today at 431-8633. Let's check back over with Wheels. Do we have the principal on the line?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Declan High School Principal Roland Bott. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm fantastic, except for this elongation of winter misery. I'm ready for 75 and sunshine, and don't alter my forecast.
Actually, I'm in it with you.
Okay, what's going on with this internet? It's getting trashier and trashier all the time in this digital age. What are you doing as a principal to try to help clean this mess up?
Well, we're worried for our children, and so we've invited Mark Dalton from the Attorney General's office, Internet Crimes Against Children, to come and talk to our children and to our parents and educate them on what the state has seen, the dangers of the Internet, and the legal ramifications of inappropriate behavior on the Internet to try and turn the tide, I suppose.
Okay, now let's break this down. You mind if I call you Roland, or do you want me to be like a 7th grader and come up to you and say, "Good morning, Mr. Bott"? You tell me.
I would prefer Roland. That would be okay.
That's fine. Roland, what are the dangers? What are the hazards that are lurking out there that really concern you as a school principal?
The one that really started this discussion actually is what children are doing with their own cell phones. As they, as boys and girls interact and then become familiar with each other, they start to ask for inappropriate pictures, and bullying occurs there. And when I had a law enforcement officer show up at my school to visit with a young man, that got my attention. And I became aware that that our children are being subjected to some requests for inappropriate pictures, and by their own peers and people they don't even know.
Yeah. Now let me
people to know that.
Let me ask you this, Roland, and I'm going to go into quite a range of questioning here with you because I'm so blessed to have you on this program. I can't imagine. I don't know how old you are. It's none of my business. I'm 69 years old. I was in school in the 50s and 60s in elementary and high school. Went to college in the late 60s. I can't imagine what my parents would have done. First of all, I would not have had my own private cell phone. Secondarily, if anything like that occurred, that cell phone would have gone off the Main Street Bridge in Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin, into the water, and then I'd have had a whooping. What about the parents? Why aren't they doing their job?
Well, I'm not saying that parents are not. I don't know that parents recognize or aware of what their children are doing. I think that the phones are given to children, and sometimes our children are far more capable of using technology than we are.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And so my hope is that we can get the message out there so that parents are more aware of what their children. And I'm not saying that all children are doing it, but they're being exposed to it.
Right. But is there a level of accomplishment here to the point where, A, we can stop the threat against our children, B, we can make sure that the mechanism, pardon me for stuttering there, is used for what it should be used for? I mean, is there a way of solving this, or is it a problem that's only going to increase?
I wish I could say there was a way of solving it, but I fear there's not. I think the only thing we can do is educate ourselves and have honest conversations with our children so that they are aware and they're talking to us and are confident in visiting with us when scary things happen. And trust them. I believe we have great children in this area, and they want to do the right thing. I think we just need to provide them with the information necessary to help them protect themselves.
You know, I don't know what all the dangers and the hazards are. My children are grown up and they have children of their own, and I'm really kind of one generation removed from all of these different things that can get people into trouble today. But as a school principal, how in the world do you keep up on everything?
I trust it's impossible to keep up on everything, and so you do the best you can in visiting with law enforcement and other principals and our teachers as a whole to try and know what's going on. And that's about the only way you can do it. I did not know until this officer showed up at our school, honestly, all that was out there and what the law enforcement officers in this area are facing and how they're tracking it. So,
well, let's break that down a little bit, Roland. What are the, I know the pictures is one thing. I've read and heard stories about this, and unfortunately it's even progressed into the adults, so to speak, in the room, like the Anthony Wieners back in New York City, etc. But what are some of the other dangers that maybe our kids and our families are not aware of?
well, at the same time as we were experiencing the situation with this officer, we discovered that drugs are being sold this way, gangs activity is happening this way, and of course there's always identity theft and those kinds of things that happen even to our children. And so, and the ever-present bullying and social media challenges that come with that.
Now, I want to get into that a little bit further, Roland. You bring up a subject that I had not even thought of. You're way ahead of me on this one. Drugs and the drug trafficking over the cell phones. I mean, my goodness, I was not aware of that.
Well, it just is a way for those who are in that industry, I guess you'd call it, to get information out there that, hey, I've got it, and here you can come get it, and it can be. Yeah, I guess I'm not very good at it either. I just know it exists.
Well, what's a simple answer, I guess? The simple answer for my generation would have been my very strict German dad would have grabbed the cell phone and said, that's it, you can't have a phone anymore. However, in this day and age, and respond to this as a principle, there are many safety factors where a phone could actually keep the safety of the student if they're taken someplace or if their car breaks down or something. They need that safety device. So there's kind of a catch in a can there, isn't there?
There is. There truly is. I grew up in similar to you when that was not something that was available, and somehow we survived. But I give a phone to my daughter who's in athletics so that I know when she's leaving the bus and headed home, and so I understand that, and so it's the way we live anymore.
But, you know, as a school principal, and I have the utmost respect for you and your job and what you do, I don't know how you go to attend these meetings and try to discern all this information to try to keep maybe close to 600-700 kids safe. I don't know how you do it.
Well, I appreciate your compliment. But again, I would just reiterate that we live in a wonderful community that in the large measure, perhaps we're sheltered for some of this, and so it's coming our way. And I think the only way to head it off is to be proactive and teach our children and our parents that it exists and it's coming.
Well, you know, you say we live in a good area, and I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I'm so blessed that in 1969, to show you how old I am, I came here and I took up residence, and I love this area. But it's not just the good people in this area. It's people from out of the area that want to come in and do harm to our children.
That's the scary part. And they don't have to live here to do it. They can do it very easily from great distance using our own children's technology against them.
Well, what would you tell parents this morning, Roland? I mean, you're on the bully pulpit this morning. What would you tell the parents of the children that go to your schools? Are there seminars? Are there ways they can inform themselves more of the dangers of what's going on? Tell me about that.
Well, I'm just starting that process now. I was, I guess, a little bit naive myself. And so I became a little educated by the officer that came to my school. I'm in hopes that this meeting with the children this afternoon and with the parents tonight at 6 o'clock starts that process, and we learn where we can go to educate ourselves on what's out there and how to protect our children.
Absolutely. Now, as the people are listening here this morning, again, tell us the time of that meeting. Is it an open format? Tell us a little bit more quickly. I got a minute left.
Okay, it's open to anyone who would like to come. It's at Declo High School in the auditorium at 6 o'clock. being presented by Mark Dalton from the State Attorney General's office. And this is what he does. This is what he's hired by our state to do, is to track those who are trying to harm our children.
Well, I give you kudos, my dear friend. I don't think we've ever met formally, but I think I know your family members, and I wish you the very best, and I honestly say thank you for talking about this morning. Would you please come back on the air in a couple of weeks and give us a follow-up as to what was learned at this meeting? Would you do that for me?
We can do that. Yeah, we would do that.
All right, sir. Have a blessed day, and be careful out there. That old winter weather is not too nice to say. I'll tell you, be careful.
Thank you very much.
All right, sir. That's Mr. Roland Bott, and he's the principal of Declo High School, and I really appreciate him coming on. You know, the technocracy that we have today is great, but it can also be very evil and very dangerous. I'd like to say thank you again to him being on our program, Cassia County School Days, brought to you by A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and also the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley, 677-8888. Right now it's time for our business salute, and oh my goodness, have we got a dear old friend with us on the program this morning, and he's the spokesperson for Kenny and the rest of the crew at Snake River Auto Body and Paint in Twin Falls on 404 4th Avenue West. My buddy, Dan Whitman. Good morning, Dan.
Morning, Zeb. How are you?
I'm sick of the winter, and I'm demanding that you go to your auto body and paint us a great big sunshine, blue skies, and 70 degrees.
Consider it done.
All right, buddy. Hey, Snake River Auto Body and Paint, I can tell you and Kenny, I have never been treated any better anywhere than I have at Snake River Auto Body and Paint. Tell us a little bit about the service and what you do to the customers that might have a ding or a dent in the old four-wheeled wonder.
Well, you know, the nice thing that I like about Snake River is we've been around since 1995. We've got qualified technicians and estimators. There's not an insurance company we don't work with. So if you've been in an accident and you don't quite know what to do, come down and see us. Any of us can help you out. We've got guys who can speak Spanish. We've got guys who have been in the industry for 20-plus years that are writing estimates for you, not to mention the quality technicians we've got out in the shop.
You know, when you talk about repairs today, Dan, on these newer vehicles, is it less expensive to fix these newer cars than it was 10, 20, 30 years ago?
Oh, no. Cars today are not what your parents drove, that is for certain. They're not. Cars today isn't the same as it was 5 years ago. We've got all the aluminum that's out there, the titanium, the boron. You don't realize it, but a brand new Toyota's got over 200 computers in it that we have to be able to make sure that everything's correct when it heads out the door. It's not something you can phone your shop and swap a fender out anymore.
You said 200 computers? Are you serious?
Correct. They go from the front bumper to the back bumper. You figure if your airbag goes off, it's got to go off in hundredths of seconds. If we have that timing off, you could get hurt or not be protected in the accident like you need to be.
Oh, my goodness. So basically, when you're repairing a car from an accident, you've got to make sure that everything, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and everything is right to the millisecond as to what it should be, right?
Correct. That's our number one goal here is customer safety, human safety. We just want to make sure when you take off that we don't have to worry about you coming back with something that has went wrong, or if you're ever in an accident again, that it doesn't hold up.
Well, Dan, how do you keep up on all this? I mean, if they're changing all these computers and all these, the makings of these automobiles every year back in Detroit and elsewhere, how do you at Snake River Auto Body and Paint, how do you keep up on everything that you have to know?
Training. Most, if not all, of our guys have been off to one kind of training or another, whether it be restraints training, and we update, and you end up going about once a year. Aluminum repairs. You know, you don't repair aluminum metal like you do metal. Steel, that kind of stuff. You can't work them together. If they were to create a dust between them, it can cause an explosion. It's little things like that today's technician has to be update on. So they get sent out to a lot of trainings.
You know, one of the things I wanted to ask you this morning is that I have seen when you drive by a car lot anywhere, Magic Valley or wherever you go, it seems like there are just literally hundreds of new paint colors. How do you match all that paint?
Well, you know, we actually have a scanner that you can sit on the fender of the hood or directly onto the paint, and it will read pretty much the code. But to be honest, to get the hues and the tints right, that takes the technicians that we've got to have the experience to know how to tint that paint and bring it around to what we need it to be.
Oh, my goodness.
You look at a paint code that comes out on a car right now, and every car has a paint code to it, but that paint code may have 10 different variants depending on where it was painted, the manufacturer that sold them the paint. So we'll have a few chips to go through, but it takes a quality technician just to get the color right.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I know because of my working with you at Snake River Auto Body and Paint on the couple of occasions that I've needed your work for my pickup, the service. You folks really ought to get an award for the best in service.
Well, we appreciate that. That's what we try to do, is make sure that if you need our help, it's not a hard thing to get. We understand that after you've been in an accident, that can be pretty traumatic at the end of the day. And, understand we've been through this quite a few times, and we'll help you out with whatever we can.
Dan, 404 4th Avenue West in Twin, a lot of people with this changing of the street names and numbers and everything, they might not know exactly where you're at. How would you tell everybody to physically find Snake River Auto Body and Paint?
Well, I usually ask them if they're coming from Blue Lakes, going down Shoshone, go just past Will's Toyota, hang a right, and you're going to find us on the right-hand side of the road.
Okay. That's easy enough. And what are your hours that you're open over there?
We are open from 7 to 6 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturday.
Okay, and I'll tell you what, Kenny and this gentleman I'm talking to, Dan Whitman, the whole staff, they are such great professionals, and all they have to do is just drive up, knock, or go on in the door, get a hold of you folks, and you'll give them an estimate and a schedule for when they can get their car fixed, right?
You betcha. That's all you got to do. There's 5 of us writing estimates, so we usually have somebody available whenever you walk through the door. And if you have something that you can't quite make it into, there's something we can work into our schedule. We'll actually head out to your place and ride it for you there as well.
Oh, my goodness. I'm telling you, folks, firsthand, I can guarantee you'll be very satisfied with the service and the great people and their workmanship at Snake River Auto Body and Paint, 404 4th Avenue West in Twin Falls, 734-5790. And this man, Dan Whitman, is one of the nicest guys anywhere, anytime. Dan, thanks for being on the radio.
You have a good day, Zeb.
All right, buddy. Take care. Thank you so much. Good guys over there, and I appreciate them. Hey, we've got to get to the main studios. I'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
As earlier announced in this last half hour, we made the decision not to have lunch bunch today at Denny's Restaurant America's Diner due to the fact that some of the road conditions and weather conditions are not conducive to having people out there driving, walking, etc., and I don't want to see anybody get hurt. And the other reason also is, for my wife and myself personally, we have appointments in Twin Falls, exactly the opposite direction of where lunch bunch is going to be held, and we could not miss them. So I do apologize to everybody, and we'll certainly have a makeup date for the lunch bunch miss today. So again, my apologies. Right now, we have a guest on the phone, and I am really, this man is so straightforward and honest about what's going on with or not climate change, global warming, etc., something I've never believed in. And we have from the Heartland Institute, James Taylor. James, good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing well, Zeb. How are you doing?
Well, James, give us a little bit of background. It's been a while since you've been on the program, and give us a little background not only on James Taylor, but also the Heartland Institute, what you do, what you're trying to accomplish, and what you think might happen with this new administration.
All right, fantastic. First of all, the Heartland Institute We are a nonprofit public policy organization. We're looking for free market solutions to the challenges that face society. I am a senior fellow for environment policy there, and I'm also president of the Spark of Freedom Foundation, in which we're focusing on translating the science, translating the public opinion gains we've had on this issue into policy gains, because we've won the science argument all day long, we've won the battle for public opinion all day long, and yet we still get these government top-down restrictions on our economy, on our energy, and on our environment. So we're looking to make a difference where the rubber hits the road.
James,
what's happening these days, my goodness, I am just appalled at all the fake news regarding global warming and related issues. Just this morning I see there's a big push to claim that global warming is destroying global crops. And looking into the study, or looking into the news story, some global warming alarmists put together their own simulation in which they simulate 60 years from now crops doing poorly. And so therefore the headline is global warming is destroying crops. But we know in the real world that year after year after year, both in the U.S. and globally, we have record yields for crop production. Almost every year we set a new year. On the very rare occasion we don't, well, it's just because we couldn't surpass the previous one. And that's the difference between real news and fake news. Real news is we see observations that demonstrate that we're having an improving world. And then we have the fake news where some guy puts together a computer simulation based upon his own faulty assumptions, and the media reports that as the global warming travesty.
James, I really appreciate your coming on because, like I said, you're a straight shooter. I have come under attack by the liberal left, and we've got a local newspaper, a local rag, that absolutely has come out on some of their op-ed editorials and have criticized people. My goodness, what's the matter with you? Don't you believe in climate change? Don't you believe in global warming? Why, what's the matter? Did you just fall off the wall or something and crack like Humpty Dumpty? They make fun of people that are really interested in what truly is going on. And my question to you to start off our conversation is, why and how has the American public been duped into believing that man-caused climate change really exists? What happened to make people think it's really going on?
Well, there are two issues here. The first is whether by putting greenhouse gases in the atmosphere we are causing some warming. And the second is what are the consequences? I mean, as a matter of physics, if you add carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, unless something else intervenes, you can expect some warming. And virtually all of my skeptic friends acknowledge this. A few of them say, well, we have reasons to believe there are other things going on that are mitigating that warming, but carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. Where we have the divide is that, according to physics, we can expect a doubling of carbon dioxide would only cause 1 degree Celsius of warming, a full doubling. We haven't even come close to a doubling since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. And 1 degree Celsius is not a lot. So the divide is between the alarmists who claim that we're going to have much more warming than that 1 degree Celsius, and they give very poor reasons for why they expect it to be the case, and then also the real-world observations in terms of what the consequences are. The very modest warming we've seen has been associated with greater crop production, a measured greening of the earth, a measured shrinking of deserts, a measured decrease in hurricane frequency and severity, a measured decrease in tornado frequency and severity, a measured decrease in drought, etc. And when they try to claim that you are a denier, it's not so much that they want to frame the issue as whether carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. That is not in dispute. The real dispute is, are we creating a catastrophe? And the real-world evidence shows we are not. And if we go back historically to colder and warmer time periods, we see the same pattern. Warm temperatures are beneficial. Cold temperatures kill.
When I look and study the news, and I do it every day, and I hear and read about actors that read and follow a script and have a director tell them where to go and what to say and when to say it and where to stand, and all of a sudden, because they star in a movie, their intelligence factor has gone up like 200 points, and they're telling us that we are hurting the climate and that mankind needs to be absolutely removed from the scene to save the planet. I absolutely get livid because these people are nothing more than glorified dummies standing up on a stage, and all of a sudden their IQ is ruining the world. Would you agree with that?
I would agree. I would say that if you look up to Kim Kardashian, Lady Gaga, and Madonna for your intellectual beacon of light, then you must be living in Manhattan or San Francisco.
But, you know, they get the floor, and they get the forum of the news media, and like Matt Damon with his anti-fracking, and Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, the world's going to burn up and everything. Unfortunately, they get the floor, and very unfortunately, the American public and the world, they listen to these knotheads. And that's something that we've got to start having is honest talk between scientists that really understand what's going on and not be cowed into believing the Al Gore of climate change.
Well, that's true, but here's something that we need to keep in mind. When we start to get frustrated by this one-sidedness in the media, they really are shooting themselves in the foot. And when they can't comprehend the reason why Donald Trump won the election, just a few minutes ago I'm watching the Senate confirmation hearings on CNN, and the caption is, for Mnuchin, for Treasury Secretary, the caption is, Senate panel examines controversial Trump pick. Since when did CNN or the mainstream media describe any of Obama's cabinet nominees as controversial? Never. When they do these things, it's transparent how one-sided they are, and it offends people. It offends our sense of fairness. And that's why you had states like Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania that have been reliably Democratic, where you have the working-class people that see this and that have been sympathetic to economic populism, have been sympathetic to the little guy, which the Democrats have used as their party platform, but now they say enough is enough. The media is so far in the tank on one side of this issue and on one side of the politics that it turns our stomachs. And they're doubling down on this type of strategy, and it's going to backfire. So when they attack you, Zeb, when they attack us along these lines, and it's clearly biased, and it's clearly not balanced, keep in mind that the American people are smart. They see through it, and they will punish the perpetrators.
Yeah, but wait a minute. What about, though, James, we have another problem besides the media. We have the problem in the schools with the teachers that barely are dry behind the ears, going to the schools and in the elementary, high school, college ranks, they're preaching and teaching to these students that are so susceptible to this garbage that mankind is wrong and mankind is killing the planet. How are we going to correct that problem in the schools?
Well, it does take a lot of work. At the Heartland Institute, we were working to put together some basic curriculum on the topic. We didn't quite put together curricula, but we did put together some bullet points for educational purposes. But again, something to keep in mind is that at least since the 1960s, our educational system has been dominated by the left. And they do force-feed this leftist ideology, including the global warming issue. And it appears to have an impact on younger people. But I see signs that just as has always been the case, when younger people become older people, when they have real-world experiences rather than just what they're taught in schools, they see what's really going on, and their attitudes change. I see that I have 2 teenage daughters. I have friends in the community who are young adults. And I can see with the passage of time as they get older that they see through this garbage. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't be speaking up for the truth in the schools. We definitely should be. But again, don't get discouraged. Don't put your tail between your legs thinking that we are facing a hopeless uphill battle, because people are smart, and eventually they see through it when they're presented with evidence, the evidence that you're presenting on your show, for example.
Well, when you look at Barack Obama, and I'm so glad, I am celebrating tonight. If you want to jump on an airplane and come out to my party, you're welcome, that this is his last official day in office. But when you look at the last 8 years, and with the money that he's generated for the green side of things, $1 billion here in the last couple of days, and then the transition to the Donald Trump administration, which I think will create more sanity, can we overcome the damage from the last 8 years?
I think we can. I'm happy and proud to say that the folks that Donald Trump have put in charge of the transition for EPA, for the Department of Interior, for the Department of Energy, these are folks I've worked with for a long time, and these are people who understand it, who get it, and aren't going to back down from a fight. But I'm also encouraged in the sense that Donald Trump has shown a desire and an ability to solve problems. So, I mean, even if we want to argue that we should do something about global warming, I don't think we should, and I don't think we need to. I think that we're not facing any crisis. But even if we decide to, the way to address it is by recognizing that the emissions growth is occurring predominantly in other nations,
Right.
in Asia, for
Right.
example.
Right.
And there's a tremendous demand for natural gas to replace coal power because of their localized pollution. We have natural gas. We have excess natural gas. We cannot send it to Asia because of stupid government policies at the federal level, at the state level on the West Coast, and at the local level on the West Coast, where they're blocking export terminals. And I fully expect the Trump administration will get rid of those obstacles and will allow us to, one, benefit the American economy by exporting natural gas, and two, benefit the environment by giving Asia a cleaner burning energy source. I think these are the types of solutions we're going to see in the next few years. And by the way, if you do believe in a global warming crisis, you're getting your benefit from that as well.
Absolutely. We have a caller with a question. Go ahead, caller, quickly. You're on the air.
Yes, as far as global warming is concerned, there are a couple points. First of all, the environmentalists never have a solution. Controlling the CO2 levels is one of them, but you see, in essence, it would never, ever solve the problem that they say exists. There's no logic to any of their argument, and anybody that believes it is just in the tank or uninformed or ignorant. Okay, and then secondly, quick, and I'll hang up. There's some evidence that we're heading into maybe some sort of a mini ice age or something. I hope not, because the ability for America and the rest of the world to feed the world will be inhibited tremendously if it does occur.
Mm-hmm.
But in Greenland, which is colder than Iceland, even though it says it's Greenland, is 121 below zero. In Siberia, 61 below zero. Up here in Cary, Idaho, just not too far from where we live, 40 below zero this winter. These things are serious, and global warming is far from anybody's mind. Thanks.
I really appreciate his remarks because, quite frankly, we are seeing more snowfall comparable to the winter that we had in 92 and 93. So it seems like our weather is regressing into a colder state. James, respond to that, please.
Well, we have to keep in mind that the temperature change that we've seen during the 20th century, probably about 0.6 degrees Celsius, hard to say for sure because of the way temperatures are not consistently measured. That's not a huge difference. And so you're going to see a lot of variance and variability from year to year, or even decade to decade, or even in a multi-decade scale. You have these types of cycles and variations. But the point is that with such minor changes in temperature, you're not going to see a wholesale elimination of snowfall. You're not going to see the types of negative impacts that the people have been telling us are going to happen. In fact, we can see in the data there's been very little change. But to the extent we've seen change in weather, it's been beneficial. We've had a lengthening of growing seasons. We've seen fewer extreme weather events, et cetera.
We have another.
Then regarding the second point, I think it's important to keep in mind that there's a reason why, prior to the politicization of this discussion of this issue, that 6,000 years ago was referred to as a Holocene climate optimum. The reason why it was called an optimum was because temperatures were 3 degrees Celsius warmer than today, and that benefited human civilization development. 2,000 years ago, that time period was referred to as the Roman climate optimum. Again, because temperatures were warm.
Right.
All of a sudden, we're told that warmer temperatures are bad for us, but historically we know that's not the case. So unless we're going to face a catastrophic, sudden, dramatic heating of the Earth, which doesn't seem to be the case, warmer temperatures are actually quite good for human health and welfare.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. We've got time for one more call. Quickly, caller. Go ahead, please.
Well, he just stole my thunder. I was going to say that if we suppose for a second that they are right about climate change, why is it we never hear anything about the good that can come from a warming environment? And he just said what I was going to say.
Absolutely. Well, appreciate that. And James, he compliments you because you touched on all the points he wanted to give. So you're compatible with his thoughts.
I love that. And for folks who would like to learn more about it, go to the CO2 Coalition website. I believe it's co2coalition.org. They discuss the benefits of warmer temperatures. And then I'd just finally like to add that, again, if you would like to find a common ground, quote-unquote, solution, even though I don't believe there's a problem, the way to address this is instead of shutting down coal plants and have expensive, unreliable wind and solar power, then we should be facilitating more natural gas development, more nuclear power, more hydropower. These are energy sources that conservatives have always supported because they are affordable and reliable. They also happen to tangentially have either zero or very few global warming emissions. And this is a way that we can offer a common ground solution so that we can still preserve affordable energy while telling the left, look, if you believe this is the greatest crisis we're facing, well, here's your solution. And if you oppose these solutions, then it tells us you're not being sincere about what you claim is the problem.
Absolutely. This man is the best, and I'm very fortunate and honored to have him on my program. James Taylor with the Heartland Institute back in Chicago, Illinois. God bless you, James. Thanks, and please come back soon. Have a great day.
My pleasure. Thank you, Zeb.
All right. Take care. Thank you, my friend. That man's a straight shooter and tells it like it is, and I really appreciate it. James Taylor. Right now it's time for the weather. I'm running a little bit late here. Scarrows Meats, our sponsor, 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. And I chuckle a little bit because they have the most delicious oven-ready marinated prime rib you have ever sunk your teeth into. Oh, it is so good. All the meats are great at Scarrows Meats in Jerome. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Be prepared for some slick driving conditions as we are expecting more snow throughout today and tonight. Here is your weather forecast. We are in a winter storm warning that is going to be in effect through 9 o'clock tonight. We are expecting anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snow today. It's going to be rain and snow mixed. High of 34. Tonight we're expecting a low of 20. Looks like mostly cloudy skies for tonight. Snow showers this evening, but those are going to be tapering off overnight, low right near 24. Tomorrow, looks like partly cloudy skies, high of 32 with an overnight low of 26. Saturday, we do have a slight chance of snow showers in the forecast, high of 32 with an overnight low of 18, and then possibly more snow showers for Sunday with a high of 33. That is your weather for Zebeth Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. Brought to everybody by Scarrows Meats, your hometown meat cutter, locally owned, custom meat processor for over 20 years. Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, 324-7657. Also want to remind you about our dear friend, our major sponsor, and that's, of course, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and they've got the best of all your traction tires for your car, pickups, SUVs. You better stop in today. Don't risk it. They've got the best of traction tires. They've got the best in brake service. They've got the best in front end alignment, shocks and struts, and, of course, also the best in batteries. But above all, the best in service to you. Stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Overland in Burley, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. Caller, I'm going to alter the way we end the program, and Wheels is going to play a special song in just a moment. So quickly, I've only got 1 minute left. Real fast. Go ahead.
Yeah, Zeb, I just wanted to say that I watched Donald Trump land at D.C. airport in a military plane, and I remember back in the when they had the Republican National Convention at his acceptance speech. This may sound stupid, it may sound corny. It's not because I love Trump. It's because I love America, and I heard somebody say something that finally made some sense, and I wept. And when he landed today on the plane, I find myself weeping again because somebody here is going to save America and do what is right. And thank God.
I agree. Thank God. Thank you, Randy. And all I want to say right now is the following. Barack Hussein Obama, today, as you stroll down the hallway from the Oval Office for the last time, please know in your heart that you did nothing to make our country more unified and more prosperous. You did nothing to protect the citizens of America from very dangerous and killing sources around the globe. And please know that most God-fearing family value folks are so glad that you are no longer the President of the United States. I welcome this change of administration. I welcome a resurgence in the red, white, and blue and the values of America, and I certainly pray for those. Right now, I've asked my dear friend Wheels to play God Bless the USA by Lee Greenwood as we wrap up our show for this week. God bless you, and we'll talk to you on Monday.